New WoW expansion. So we actually have not watched this yet. And I haven't watched this yet. We as a stream haven't watched this. I myself have not watched this. What's it called? Yep, I haven't watched it. We're gonna watch it right now. Dragonflight. Yeah, see, look. It's like the autoplay that you see. That's like all I've seen, so. Alright. Let's go, guys. Let me put my headphones on so it doesn't pick up on the mic. Alright, so WoW cinematics are always really sick. But they don't really tell the picture, so we should watch the actual full thing here. Because this is just a cinematic trailer. Yeah, let's watch the whole thing. Alright, let's go. Hold on, can we go back? Oh no, let me start over, because I wasn't paying attention. Hey, what's up, Preds? Like, all these scenes go really fast, and they're showing them all for a reason. Dude, WoW is so sick, actually. Dude, I was just talking about this. I was just talking about this on yesterday's stream. Like the idea about like playing WoW and then like quitting WoW and trying other MMOs. How hard it is to get into the storyline of some of these MMOs, because it just feels like so like. So like, I don't even know. It's just hard to get into, man. But yeah, huge WoW Blizzard fanboy. ESO though, ESO is sick, because I've been, I played Morrowind, I played Skyrim. The Tamriel lore is pretty sick too, but like, what is Black Desert lore? You guys try to play Black Desert online? It's like, oh, here's the lore. You wake up from a coma and there's this fucking black demon that's telling you to go kill things so that it can absorb their souls and get stronger. That's like literally the lore of the game. It's like, what? Why am I motivated to keep doing this? This feels bad. You Koreans, man. What are they doing? Final Fantasy 14? I don't know if their lore is that good. But I will say the thing about MMOs is I never really wanted to play an MMO that had a number in its name. I just wanted to play one giant experience. Just one. I didn't want to like start over. So that's why I never played Final Fantasy 11. Was that the first online Final Fantasy? Because it just seems like right from the bat, like it's doomed to eventually shut down one day. And I mean, is that game around? How do we know Final Fantasy 14 is always going to be, It just seems kind of awkward. I don't know. Alright, let's go, boys.
For Hi everyone, I'm John Haidt, General Manager for Warcraft, and with me today are my friends Ian Hazzikostas, who is the Game Director for World of Warcraft, and Holly Longdale, who...
All right. John Haidt. That's this guy? He came on during Miss. That's very interesting. And then they pulled him out of Miss and put him to Diablo 3 for console. What? What a waste. What a freaking waste, dude. Miss was so good. Wait, Shadow of the Colossus production director? No way. Did you guys know this? This guy this guy right here, the franchise general manager for Warcraft and the Shadowlands executive producer. He was the production director for Shadow of the Colossus. Dude, that game's legendary, dude. Alright, this guy's a legend, dude. This guy's already a legend in my book, dude. Godzilla Destroy All Monsters, that game was sick too. It's got some classics on here, man. All the way starting with Sesame Street and Numbers and Letters. Wow. Battleship. So he just started porting stuff over. It's interesting. Interesting background. Kind of weird that his start with Blizzard was with MOP, and then the very next year they pulled him to Diablo 3 for console, and then into Diablo 3 DLC the next year. Alright, so John Haidt. Holly Longdale. Is that alright? Wait, what? I picked the right one, right? Am I getting gaslit by AI? I'm scared. All right. She was with Daybreak. Oh, yeah. I was wondering because I didn't recognize her at all. Actually, dude. She's pretty new at Blizzard. They lost a lot of people in the last few years, so. Alright. Started as a reporter for a magazine. Got into insurance. Kept being a writer. Started getting into freelance. Became a communication specialist with Microsoft for 3 years. And then jumped from that, started rubbing shoulders with people at Sony, jumped onto assistant lead designer. Ooh, that's a big step up, dude. Assistant lead designer? So she met somebody, dude. She got chummy with somebody. She got chummy with a lead designer at Sony, dude. Put her on as an assistant. Boom, son. That's a huge jump in her career. She's basically just writing, and then boom, assistant lead designer for 4 years. And then from there, she's just doing everything, dude. Senior producer of game design at Disney for 2 years. Lead producer of franchises and film for 3 years at Walt Disney. And then she jumped to Daybreak Games for 8 years. Or she was a senior producer of EverQuest 2. What? Executive producer of EQ and EQ2. Executive producer of the EQ franchise. Wow, that's very interesting. That's a pretty big come up, dude. That's interesting. Like, guys, you can do it, you know what I mean? You can do whatever the fuck you want. You just gotta be at the right place at the right time, dude. It's like, look at this, look at this. He literally started as a writer. And then was just putting good shit out, being in the right place at the right time, gets a huge chance at Microsoft first, honestly. And then gets that assistant lead designer spot, and then that resume boost just everything. And now she's at Blizzard, where she's been for the last 2 years. So that's relatively new. But that seems to be kind of like, I don't know, she was at Daybreak for 8, so she's probably gonna, I don't know. And then Ian, you know, we all know Ion rather. The game director, dude. We don't have his LinkedIn. He doesn't have LinkedIn? Interesting. Well, nobody really knows about him. He's kind of like an alien or something. All right, let's keep watching.
Leads up the production team for WoW Classic. I really appreciate you tuning in. I know we're really excited to be able to give you updates on what's happening in World of Warcraft. But first, I want to thank our community for all the feedback you've given us this year, and especially our community council. You've helped shape and influence the updates that we've done recently and what you're going to see in the upcoming year.
I mean, really, for Shadowlands in particular, the story of the last 9 months or so of this expansion is all about the community, and it's shaped by what we've been hearing from them, and us realizing as a team that we just collectively needed to do a better job of making sure the community felt heard. And so that led us to the changes we made in 9.1.5, but also really re-examining some of the assumptions and foundations of World of Warcraft about things like character investment and mains versus alts, or how catch-up should work, or the appropriate role of friction in our systems. And I think 9.1.5 represented a step in the direction of letting players have more freedom to play World of Warcraft the way they want to play it. And we really built our Eternity's End content update from the ground up around those principles.
What are some of the things that the community said that influenced your decisions for Eternity's End?
Things like the method and pacing of acquisition of the Covenant Legendary item, tons of tuning, and I think every step of the way, we were listening to make sure that we were carrying forward those lessons learned in the course of 9.1.5 into Eternity's End and beyond.
So WoW Classic came about because of the community.
Yeah, they continue to help guide and support us as Classic evolves.
World of Warcraft has always been about the world and the players that inhabit it. And we are, in a lot of ways, curators and caretakers of that journey and of that experience. And so once this Classic community formed and grew, we had to listen to them.
It's this tide of listening to the community and paying attention to what is a good experience
what year is
for our
this?
players now. And where we really saw a sea change in this idea is with our Season of Mastery realm, which is a Season of Fresh Start Classic. And initially we were talking about it like it was going to be like a fresh start. Let's try this experiment in a season. It'll be about a year long. And then when the community found out about it, we started seeing this upswell.
Yeah, the team just took that idea and ran with it and turned, what had started out as a small community project into this Soul of Iron system that became a centerpiece of Season of Mastery and a whole new opt-in hardcore mode that we've seen communities built around.
Yeah.
Lots of, thrilling victory and painful defeat.
5 hours. I made it 5 hours.
Yeah. And it continues, like Burning Crusade Classic. We wanted to balance the Paladin seals between Horde and Alliance, so we made an addition there. We wouldn't have gotten there without the community's input.
So, influence the community. You've got another update and pretty significant controversial change for this.
Yeah, cross-faction play coming in 9.2.5. Which is on our public test realm now as a big centerpiece.
Cross-faction.
Yep.
You're breaking with a 17-year tradition.
Yeah, it's something. It was not an easily made decision by any means, and I think this is another one of those areas where really we try to take to heart
He said Ian.
community feedback and
So does
requests,
Ian.
and ask ourselves as a team whether there's a way to accommodate such an earnestly held desire and still feel like we're being true to the roots of the game. I think players desire to play with their friends who might prefer a different faction, or to play with the faction that they more closely identify with, even though their raid group is elsewhere.
It's really important for me. I play a lot of alts, and I love absorbing the story for each race, and having that ability to play with all of my friends across factions is fantastic.
At the end of the day, the battle cry is for the Horde. It's not against the Alliance. It's not.
So remember that the girl who was just talking, was the EQ, the EverQuest person for a really long time. So she's a huge
Not
nerd.
death to the Alliance. It's
And she
about
started as a
pride in
writer,
one's
so-
faction. And I think there's a way to preserve that and even strengthen that while giving players the ability to make the same choice we've seen the greatest heroes make time and time again.
I can't wait to do this. I'm seeing a lot of my friends that I never knew had a max level character in the other faction suddenly come out of the woodwork.
And then, with these cross-faction groups, many of them are going to be diving into something new that we're doing to kind of cap off Shadowlands, a Season 4. Kind of a remix, a bit of a greatest hits, revisiting all of our raid zones across the expansion, bringing in some familiar older favorites into the Mythic Plus rotation. And we recognize this is kind of a closing chapter, a little bit of a send-off to Shadowlands. As everyone gets ready for what happens next.
Yeah, the
what will
next
come
expansion about to be
we want
sick.
to give a fun new challenge for everyone to sink their teeth into.
Really cool stuff for Modern WoW players. I'm super excited about the gear upgrades that you're going to give me and the chance to go back and play some of those awesome raids.
There's a lot to explore, very exciting.
For our next adventure in World of Warcraft, we're going to go back to Azeroth. We're going to a space with high fantasy. I mean, our fans have asked for this for a long time. This has been kind of the foundation of much of the lore of WoW. So without further ado, let's watch the cinematic.
All right. I'm glad I'm watching the longer version. Get to see their input.
The world has been sundered. It cries out in pain. We must go to its aid. We entrust our ancestral home to you, the Watchers.
The Watchers, yo.
Let the land slumber, hidden even from our own eyes. You will feel our return in the waking of the land. Then, you must light the beacon of Tyrhold, lest the path home be lost to us forever.
Why are they sad? Oh, shit. Oh no, his face, dude. Dude, I wish they'd just make a movie with whatever animation, with whatever they do with their, like, cinematics. Whoa, his face is messed up too. Wait, were those other two statues dead? Were they technically, like, dead? That's fucked up. He's like, oh, well, they didn't make it. Those were like his best friends, dude. That's so sad. Oh no, dude! No! Full tilt, dude. He's like, well, what's gotta be done still has to be done. I guess I'll do it. Goes back to sleep. Oh wait. Psych. Oh. He's climbing the ladder, dude. He's trying to hit rank 1. Shit. This is some Avenger shit. Dude, no. Oh my god! It's the Power Rangers dragons!
Is healing.
The world's healing,
Her
boys.
fate is yet uncertain. Together, we
That's it.
shall be Azeroth's protectors once again. Here, the new age of dragons shall
It's like How to Train Your
begin.
Dragon. Let's go! Dragonflight! It's pretty sick.
Dragons!
Dragons.
This is so cool.
No one saw coming.
No one saw it coming. Carefully kept secret. But seriously, I mean, what did we just see there?
The awakening of the Dragon Isles, the return of dragons, the dawn of a new age. Right, we've seen Rathian searching for his father's legacy, searching for the Dragon Isles. There's a reason why he hasn't been able to
That's
find
true.
them until now.
The beacon going off, is that summoning the dragons?
It is removing the concealment that had hidden the Dragon Isles from the world, but also beckoning the dragons back urgently in a time of need.
I assume pretty good variety of locales within the Dragon Isles. It's
Yes, the Dragon Isles, as kind of standard for WoW expansion, consist of 5 zones, 4 standard leveling zones, and a new starter zone that we'll get to in a second.
Can you talk a little bit about how the team found ways to thread the dragon aspects throughout the environments?
The Dragon Isles are a place that is lush and primal, bursting with elemental energy. As Azeroth herself reawakens, those primal forces are expressed throughout the environment, whether it's magma activity, volcanic activity, whether it's the icy wastes of the Azure Span, and each one of those has a connection to a dragonflight that we've seen before. And it's going to be an amazing place for players to arrive at and explore.
All right, I'm going to ask.
Yes, okay, so
Can I be a dragon?
let's start getting into some features here and what dragonflight means for you.
Can I
in
be a
place.
dragon?
So first off, yes.
Wait,
we have
that's not what I'm
all
thinking
new
at all.
playable-
Wait. That's not what I'm thinking at all, dude. Can I be a dragon? I was thinking like maybe we'd be those stone guys. Can we be a dragon? Okay, the way he just asked that was kind of jarring. I feel like he just gave away something. All new playable race of dragons?
race, the Drakthir race.
Yeah.
This is a draconic
What
race,
the f-
but dragons in Warcraft have
What
the ability
the
to take
fuck?
on a humanoid form.
What classes can they be?
They have
Bro, what?
unique abilities as literally a dragon. That doesn't quite fit any of our existing classes. And so what we're doing is this is not just a new race, but it's also a new class. Adding a new race to World of Warcraft, and not just an allied race, is something that we don't do lightly, but telling this expansion, this story, so focused around dragons, felt like the perfect time for it. So if you are a Drakthir, you will be the Evoker class. Drakthir can only be Evokers, Evokers can only be Drakthir. And the reason why only a Drakthir can be an Evoker is that an Evoker is really combining the ability to call upon the magic of the different aspects with the unique physical gifts that a Drakthir has. The ability to actually take flight and do an Onyxia-style strafing deep breath over the battlefield, land on the other side, knock everyone back with a wing buffet, and then unleash your magical abilities.
Yes, please.
The
Wow.
Evoker has 2 specializations. They're a hybrid.
I'm sorry, I don't have anything to say. I'm like speechless. I just had to pause it for a second because like they're still going and it's like, bro, what? I'm still trying to take this right now. There's a new race and a new class, but no other current races can be this class, and this new class can only be this race, and this new race can only be this class. The Evoker Drakthir. So, in the cinematic, we see these stone, like, Greek guys that look like they're in the meme, walking around. And then we see big-ass dragons fly in. And then he's like, can I be a dragon? And it's like, okay, that's a little weird that you would ask that, because there's been nothing in WoW ever, or in that trailer that we just watched, that would have anyone thinking, can I be a dragon? Right? Am I wrong on that? Like, I don't understand. Like, obviously, he's working on the project and is very close to it, so, like, he doesn't have the same bias that we have, like, as players of the game. He's too close to it, right? There's nothing wrong with that, but it's just, like, that was definitely jarring. Like, obviously, they have a script for this, like, who was like, okay, yeah, that's a good pacing. That's the next question you should ask. Like, who approved that? Can I be a dragon? Like, what? Am I wrong? Was anyone else thinking that? Am I off here? Like, I don't know. But then they're just like, yeah, let's segue that perfectly into showing you that you can actually be a fucking dragon. And it's not the dragons we just saw in the trailer or the dragons that we're used to in the game at all. It's these humanoid furry fantasy dragons, dude, that you see in like a Twitter AV, dude, that you see on like DeviantArt, like hugging up on a fox, you know what I mean? And it's freaking OP, dude. It's OP too. They're gonna be everywhere, dude. They can fly. They can freaking knock people back. Range DPS or healer, they're hybrids, so they're gonna be like freaking mobile as heck. And I'm sure their range DPS spec is gonna have off heals like crazy. Dude. Like, I'm just imagining what WoW is gonna look like. This expansion, dude. It's gonna be insane. It's gonna be insane. Alright, let's continue.
The Evoker has 2 specializations. They're a hybrid of either range DPS or healer. And they wear male armor. We figured, with the new hero classes we've added over the years, we have enough melee, we don't need more of those. and also probably don't need any more leather wares.
The rate
Yeah, so that was actually a prediction that we were talking about too, because there's 3 cloths. You know, there's mage, warlock, priest. There's like 4 leathers: monk, rogue, druid. What's the other one? Male, there's only like hunter and shaman, right? And then plate, there's death knight, warrior, paladin. So yeah, that makes sense.
leaders are going to love you for that.
Exactly. This is definitely a hero class. And so that means that, you know, like the Death Knights before them or Demon Hunters, they will be starting level 58, and then they're going to have a new starter zone. So they're going to have a slightly different journey into the Dragon Isles as opposed to the rest of us that are sailing there from other parts of Azeroth.
Oh yeah,
Can
demon
you
hunter.
talk a little bit about the customizations? Like what is going to be able to identify my Drakthir character?
Basically anything and everything. You know, skin color, hair color, jewelry, tattoos,
Whoa.
basically anything and everything.
All right.
You know, skin color,
All right.
hair.
Wait, is that a goatee? Is that like a little... Oh, wait, hold on, look. Look, no, look behind my camera. Look, there's like a dragon. That's not a statue, it's moving. Go back. Oh, and look again, look behind my camera again. There's the girl. So basically it's like Worgen. So they're gonna be able to shift in between like a more human-like face into their dragon form. That's crazy. They just have like a little bit of everything. This is like a role-playing class. They're adding this because of how popular Final Fantasy XIV is and how many people on that game roleplay and do weird ass shit. That's like half of the reason they're adding this class, dude. Tell me I'm wrong.
Tattoos, other adornments, you can make this character the expression of your identity in Azeroth.
New zone, new class,
Yep.
new race. Well, tell us about some of the system updates or features.
So, of course, the new expansion brings with it, you know, new systems, new features. I think in recent expansions, one of the things we've tended to do is really have these deep features that were closely tied to a specific expansion that would then get left behind as we moved on. And we've heard loud and clear from players
Artifact
that,
weapons.
you know, it's kind of a bummer to start off every new expansion by leaving a large part of your character behind, by leaving a large part of your progression behind. So this time around, what we're doing is really pouring all of our energy into permanent revamps, overhauls, and improvements to World of Warcraft's core systems. Things like our progression systems, in this case, our talent system is something that we want to completely revamp. We want to take a look at our UI. We want to take a look at professions.
So with the talent revamp and the arrival of Classic, did you learn anything about...
Wait, hold on.
We
Who
want
are
to
these
like
people?
permanent- so
They're
this
showing
time,
like workers. Are
by
these
leaving
actual
a large
Blizzard
part of your
workers?
character behind, by leaving a large profession behind. So
Are these actual Blizzard workers? This is fake, right? It's literally like random scribbles on a board, and then it says ducks? Question mark? Do you guys see that? It says ducks. Hold on, dude. Yeah, it's definitely fake, dude. They aren't gonna have the industry secrets out here. Ducks. There's like random scribbles. There's like some Illuminati shit, dude. And then it's like they're linking them, but it's all just empty. And then there's one over here, it's just like all empty. It's like, all right, so this is how you make a flowchart. You have an idea here, and then you link it to another one, and then someone else makes an idea, and then you make a bracket, and then you write ducks. Maybe that's how the idea you start with. They're like showing them how to make ideas. It's like, all right, everyone else at Blizzard got fired or left because we're a horrible company. You guys are all brand new and have no experience. So we're just going to show you how to make ideas up. Maybe this is the Blizzard. Oh my god. Dude. That's really funny. They're just vibing too.
What we're doing is really pouring pouring all of our
Bold.
energy into
VFX. More VFX. Shiny. Metal. Paper. Sold. Leather.
permanent
Oh wait, hold on. They're doing stuff.
overhauls and improvements to World of Warcraft's core systems. Things like our progression systems, in this case, our talent system.
I don't know,
is
man.
Something that we want
See, like, what is this? This is definitely some dev shit, dude. Whoa. Got the nice monitors, man. You're just vibing.
to completely revamp. We want
Wait, hold on. Go back. Go back.
systems, in this case, our talent system, is something that
Is it Microsoft Edge? Oh no, he's using Chrome. I was about to say.
we want to completely revamp. We want to take a look at our UI. We want to take a look at professions.
Wait, is that her? Is that picture her? Is she just sitting in front of a framed picture of herself? She just sits. She just looks down and it's just her. She's like, "Yep, that's who I was. Look where I am now."
So with the talent revamp and the arrival of Classic, did you learn anything about how our talents work?
I think seeing a new generation of players play with those talents and work through those talent trees really underscored some of the things that, frankly, we lost when we shifted to the Mists of Pandaria style talents and beyond.
You mean the
Piece
Kata
of
style
that
talents?
was some of just the granularity, the feeling of getting a level and spending a point to customize your character to make yourself a bit better
Yeah,
in some
point per
specific
level,
way.
boys. Let's go.
But also, that sense of hybridity that you could have. That's something that we've largely lost. And so the new talent system avoids directly.
Whoa. Hold
That's
on.
something that we've largely lost. And
Work in progress. Whoa. Okay, so yeah, work in progress. But one of the first things I'm noticing is that they have like little loadouts here. And also a button that just says reset. It's a work in progress, a big work in progress. So they flash this on the screen for like a second because they don't want you to overthink this part. But I am overthinking. I can't help it, dude. What? So one of the big things that is crazy about what we're seeing right here is that it says druid points available and resto points available. What does that mean? And then we have the resto icon over here. So what? So if I wanted to be a boomkin, would it say druid points available and balance points available? So you have access to two big ass trees at the same time, and it purposely divvies your points to each, so you can't just dump everything in one. You literally have to split up two. You have two talent trees? Dude, that's actually sick. And there's war mode. And down here I'm seeing little PvP glyphs. Dude, that's actually pretty sick.
so the new talent system avoids directly pitting player power throughput choices directly against those sort of utility.
So I'm assuming this is like a full fleshed out tree. Like max level. Seeing two, so you have 3 PvP talents. And neither of those PvP talents are a trinket. So I'm assuming they're bringing PvP trinket back. Or maybe just making it a baseline ability for everyone. So you get 3 PvP talents, and you don't have to pick a trinket for one of them. Yeah, this is a lot of talents, dude. This is sick. Look at all the stuff this Resto Druid has. They have Typhoon. They got Bash. They got Skull Bash. No way. They've got freaking Iron Skin. Hey, man. Okay. Seems pretty chill.
Hybrid choices.
PvP trinkets already back in Shadowlands? Oh, true.
And we also
I didn't know that.
understand that there's a lot of strength in the flexibility
Been out of the
modern
Shadowlands
battle
loop.
system to let players customize their talents for a particular encounter or for dungeons versus PvP, and we don't want to lose any of that.
So, John, UI?
Oh my God. Yes, I got this 30-inch monitor trying to keep track of where I am on the map, all my buffs, and over here, what's going on in chat. It has literally made my eyes go like this. So,
You're not alone in that. We've made a lot of incremental changes and additions over the years, but really this is a revamp.
Just
This
get
is an overhaul.
add-ons.
And so we're excited to really modernize the look and feel while staying true to the origins of World of Warcraft. Now, at the same time, we're not looking to take away the sort of power user customization
So,
there. Add-ons
I
are
wanna
still
see
there
the
if you want
UI.
them, but we want a much better default out-of-the-box experience.
Yeah,
for all
default
players,
UI,
view it
exactly. A
all
much
I
better
can
default one.
Reduce elements, remove elements.
Okay, so it literally looks exactly like my UI that I've used for years. This looks literally like my exact UI that I've been using for years, dude. 2 bars at the bottom, directly in the middle, big ass health bar on the top, right with the other guy. Dude, what? The bags and all the things, like slightly faded and out of view. Dude, that's crazy, dude. That's crazy. They just ripped my UI,
I
dude.
want to explore the world and see the beauty of Azeroth.
When it comes
Oh,
to specific
yeah.
elements,
Nice.
as much
You
as
just
possible,
move
we want
everything
players
whenever,
to
too.
choose what to show
That's
and
sick.
what to hide, so that they can control it themselves.
You mentioned
That's
professions.
crazy, though, dude.
I have a critical question about
That's so crazy.
Go on.
Can I wear a chef's hat?
Yeah, I knew it.
Can I wear a chef's hat?
Our approach to professions in Dragonflight is really all about delivering on fantasy and identity as a crafter.
Chef's
and
hat?
so if you want to be a serious blacksmith, if you want to be a great leather worker, we want to deliver the ability to invest.
Oh, dude, that's an okay. Hold on, that's
If you
an.
want to be a great leather worker.
I
you
like
wanna do-
that profession window. That looks nice, dude. That looks real good.
Deliver the ability to invest time and energy into that.
That looks real
become a
good,
master
dude.
crafter. Be able
And
to make
dude,
items-
honestly, like they're making the default UI my normal UI that I've been using for years. If you guys have watched my stream at any point in the last decade, you know exactly what my UI looks like, dude. I can open up literally any screenshot on my computer. It's always the same, dude. I always have the bars, the 3 bars in the middle, and then the wider health bar at the top. That's crazy that they're literally just taking my UI and making it the default one, dude. What does that say about my design choices, guys? What does that say about my design choices? Do you think I can put this on a resume now? You think I can maybe put this on my LinkedIn? I think I should be able to, dude, because that's crazy. That actually says something. It's like, dude, I was like so many years ahead on like just how a UI should look and feel comfortable on the eyes. I was so far ahead that, it took them all the way till 2022 to be like, you know what? Let's break this shit up and just like implement it exactly like this other guy does it. I mean, obviously I don't think they're like literally doing like copying my shit, but it's just interesting that like this billion-dollar company with all their focus groups, all their psychologists, all their college level designers, and all their teams, and you saw their little charts that they had on the whiteboard. The design that they came up with is the same exact one. Like, that's crazy to me,
that
dude.
are
I
in
don't know.
demand, interact with the community.
Let's keep going.
One of the big pieces that we want to do to support that is a new work order system to have a bit more convenience than just spamming trade chat all day. But if you are someone, you're not yourself a blacksmith, but you have a bunch of mats and you want them forged into a great sword, you can put that work order up, list your mats, offer a commission, and a skilled blacksmith can come along and make you the weapon of your dreams.
I think we left out one thing, though. You can be a Drakthir, go to Dragon Isles. Can I have a dragon?
What's the fantasy of...
See, can I have a dragon? I feel like they should have somehow asked this before. Can I be a dragon?
dragons, if not soaring over the lands? And so we're really excited to introduce a feature on dragon riding. It's dynamic with, you know, everything from momentum to dive bombs, the ability to, you know, just sort of build that speed up and feel the world rushing past you in a way that should be much more exciting than traditional flight that we've made available in the past, but that's also available for players through a customizable dragon mount right from the start.
So,
you know, the falling and then like swooping at the end. Yeah, where's all my druid players at? Instant flight form, you know, we've been doing that for years. We've been doing that for years, dude. Just leave flight form, swoop off right at the end. Ooh, it's so fun. Now everyone's gonna be able to do that.
this is a skill you learn
looks so
over
sick,
time,
dude.
right, to become an awesome dragon rider.
Yes, you'll be able to sort of upgrade aspects of your flight, but you will have this new form of flight.
Ooh, it's time gated.
And the dragon companion that you have is, of course, very thoroughly customizable.
Time-gated flight
new thing for us for
animations.
mounts.
Time-gated flight animations, guys. Does it help you kill things faster? No. Does it help you get gold faster? No. Alright, does it help you escape from enemies or anything? No. It's literally just animations so I can fly from town to town cooler. Yeah. And it's time-gated? Yeah.
This is not just a generic dragon that everyone has, but a drake that
So
is
funny,
yours. You know, what do you want its scales to look like, horns, the shape of its head,
Oh
other
my God.
attachments, armor pieces, and more. Take your pick.
This is so cool.
So
yes,
funny,
the
dude.
Dragonflight expansion
This is so
to see
cool.
players leveling
Oh
to
my
70,
God.
going to the all-new continent of the Dragon Isles.
I mean,
which
it is
consists
cool,
of 5 zones,
but it's just
4
funny, dude.
standard leveling
So
zones,
funny.
and a new starter zone for our Drakthir class, as well as a range of system
Honk, honk.
revamps, such as a new talent system, an overhaul and update to our UI, and an entirely fresh look at professions with more depth than ever before. Also getting around the Dragon Isles is going to come in the form of dragon riding, which lets you customize and upgrade your own mount so that you can fly in a
They're like, all right, we know you guys have ADHD, so we're going to recap you on everything now that we just went over.
And much more to come.
We also have an alpha that will be starting up in the future.
Check out our website for
It's
more
not even
information, and
halfway
keep an
through,
eye out
like,
for
what
those
is going
opt-in
on?
signups if you want to help us test out Dragonflight and give us even more feedback to make it better.
We do have a deep dive that follows this, so please stay around. Classic players, we haven't forgotten about you.
Oh, okay.
You could probably guess where we're going to go next. One of the all-time favorite expansions for World of Warcraft.
The rest is
Let's
the
watch
deep
cinematic.
dive. I see. Oh, is this the Lich King announcement? I love Lich King, dude. I can't wait to not have to play Lich King private servers anymore, boys. Let's go!
My son, the day you were born, the very forests of Lordaeron whispered the name.
Okay, hold on. I have to pause this because I feel like I'm not giving this justice. This is fucking amazing that this is getting announced. We just took in so much information from the last half hour. Well, I paused a bunch, so it was probably like the last hour almost, dude. We just took in so much information. Like, let's just take a quick break again. And, like, I know they just recapped and stuff, but, like, my mind is still thinking about High Isles right now. I'm not ready. I'm not ready to immediately go into Lich King, dude. Like, what? Calm down, dude. Calm the heck down. Oh man. So High Isles is gonna be crazy. There's gonna be a bunch of furries running around, RPing on dragons, and they're gonna be insanely overpowered. But the UI is gonna be great. I'm gonna be able to make a new character, not have to freaking copy a bunch of folders to get my UI set up. It's just gonna be out of the box, fresh, clean, good suit. That's pretty chill. They didn't really show anything else. The UI looks cleaner. That's dope, dude. Less add-ons that I have to update. That's awesome. But was that really it? Was that, I mean, obviously new zones, you know? Dude. Oh yeah, dude, I forgot though that that's a good point. Like the dragon people are like Argonians from Elder Scrolls. They're like Argonians. Pretty sick, actually. Argonians that can fly. That's actually scary. Oh man, if Argonians could fly in Elder Scrolls, they would not be civilized, dude. They would be insane, dude. They'd be so scary. All right. Now, here's the thing about Wrath of the Lich King Classic announcement, though. Before we get into it, I just want to say something. Wrath of the Lich King is quite possibly my most played expansion for WoW, because when Kata came out, I stopped playing retail, and I just played Lich King private servers the whole time. The whole time. Lich King is awesome, and I feel like I always wanted a Lich King server again. I always wanted a WoW Lich King server. Like ever since Kata came out. But it wasn't a big deal because I just played private servers, but it's still like be cool, you know? And then I remember when vanilla, the whole topic of that was coming out and like being re-released, and then it actually happened. And it's like, damn, that's awesome, but like vanilla, you know, these are just my personal feelings about vanilla, but you know, a lot of people enjoy it, that's awesome, but as someone who never shied away from playing private servers and could have always played vanilla, it's like, nah, not really. And who did play it was like, nah, I don't know. BC, I kind of felt the same way, but Lich King, dude, prime. And when vanilla came out, or when classic rather got re-released, is like, dang, that actually puts like a Lich King re-release on the Blizzard 10-year bingo card. You know what I mean? Like, that's actually insane to even think about. That was not on the Blizzard 10-year bingo card at all. And then it was just like, bloop, Wrath of the Lich King re-release. Like, it wasn't announced or anything, but just the idea that Blizzard or Classic was being released, that plopped it on there, dude. And that's, like, absolutely insane. And now here we are. And not only is it coming out, but most likely going to come out the same way that BC came out, where they're going to keep BC servers around, they're going to keep Classic servers around, you're going to be able to clone your character over, which is my idea. That's so awesome, dude. That's so awesome. We dropped that video on Blizzard Twitter in 2017. Here we are like 5 years later with 2 re-releases out and cloning available. 3rd one on the way. Lich King. It's gonna be the best one, dude. Until they do the MOP re-release. I wonder if it will continue going. Because Lich King was like the peak for subscribers, was it not? I don't know if they'll do the Kata re-release. That would be sick though. I would definitely play it, because again, I never played Kata. I was sticking on Lich King private servers the whole time. So yeah, I would play a Kata re-release just to check it out, knowing that I could just go play on Lich King servers still. If they continue doing that, if they continue operating under that, like, we keep the old servers there so you can clone and like people can keep playing them, because that would be sick, dude. Like, I just remember not playing Kata because it was like salty that Lich King was gone, you know? It's just, I can just go play private servers, but I would play Kata knowing that I could just go do like Season of Mastery or whatever on Lich King again, or just keep playing the normal servers. It'd be so dope. And here we are, dude. It's actually happening. Like, there's been a lot of crazy stuff in the last few years. Sometimes makes you feel like you shifted to the dark timeline, but world is healing. They said it in the They said it in the dragon. They said what's the expansion even called? I can't even remember, dude. The dragonflight. The dragonflight cinematic, dude. They said it. The world is healing. Wrath of the Lich King's coming out this year, man. That's crazy, dude. Hopefully we make it. They already know there's gonna be a nuclear war. Like all the elites, all the CEOs, anyone who's worth at least like $500 million already knows. They already have their bunkers ready. So they're just like, you know what? Let's just announce everything. Let's just announce everything knowing that we don't have to actually make it. Let's show a bunch of workers pointing at a chalkboard with red scribbles on it in the trailer. Oh my god. Well, hopefully we make it. That'd be awesome, dudes. Getting to play some Lich King later this year. Alright, let's watch this now. That'd be so sick, though.
We had forgotten. Did you think we had forgotten? Nothing more. Just begun. Not my king yet.
Ooh, Yogg Saron, dang.
My son, the day you were born, the very forests of Lordaeron whispered the name Arthas. When my days have come to an end, you shall be king.
No way, dude. Ooh! Okay, so I already knew it was coming out this year, but like I never saw this yet. I love how they just teased that last number. Oh my god. I wish I didn't know what year it was coming out. Cause dude, when I first heard that it was coming out this year, I was like, what? 2022? Are you serious? No way. Like, I thought they'd at least be like, you know, next year or something. Look how long they'd take to put the last one up. And then they like, oh my god, they make it look like it's gonna be a 3. Look at that. Look. They make it look like it's gonna be a 3, dude. Oh my god. Oh my god, they're such trolls. Look at that crap, dude. And then they're like, psych! Oh, got you. That's so funny, dude. That's so funny.
Incredible.
Also, what's up with all this text on the screen, dude? This is like triggering me. World of Warcraft, Wrath of the Lich King Classic, WoWClassic.com. World of Warcraft expansion review. Wrath of the Lich King Classic Cinematic. Oh my gosh, chill.
It's just incredible, isn't it?
Alright, we're good, we're
Every
good.
time I see the cinematic, I get chills. No pun intended, I get chills. As you saw, Wrath of the Lich King Classic is coming this year. It brings back so many memories. When you see that cinematic, what do you remember from Wrath of the Lich King? So many memories. When you
What is he looking at, dude? Why does it look like he's not looking at her? Oops. Wait, it looks like he's looking at, like, over here, like, somewhere, like, past her head. Maybe he had a trouble spiking the camera a bunch. You know, where you, like, your eyes look into the lens. because the camera is like right next to her head. Maybe he kept looking at it by accident. It's like a lot of people who aren't trained to be on camera will look into the lens, especially because if you're not someone who's trained to be like an actor on camera, your experience with camera is having your pictures taken, and that's usually like look at the lens and smile. So you see that lens, you see that little reflection, you look at it, even if it's like a glimpse, and you look away. So what they'll do to actually help people who have that problem is they'll have someone stand behind, like for instance this person, they'll have someone stand off camera behind her, and they'll have them like hold like something bright, like a tennis ball or something, so that they're just staring at the little tennis ball that's over her shoulder over here, and it helps keep their eyes from spiking the camera. And it's easier than staring at someone's face, because there's a lot going on in someone's face, and you know what it's like to stare directly into someone's eyes while they're talking. Like there's more happening. Like you give someone eye contact when you talk, but it's different because like you break away sometimes, you know what I mean? You don't just dead like hold it the whole time, you know what I mean? So I feel like that's literally what's happening here, because he's holding it, and he almost has this look where he's like straining a little bit, almost like he's under duress, almost like he's, I don't want to say under duress, but almost like this isn't the first take, you know? Like he spiked it a few times already, and they're like, oh man, you spiked the camera again, hold on. And they're just like, all right, look, we're just gonna have someone stand over her shoulder with a tennis ball, and he's like, fuck. All right, I'm gonna look like I'm gonna look like I didn't just fuck this up like 10 times. Like, right? Is that why he's making this face? Dude, why do I overthink everything? What is wrong with me, dude? So ADHD,
You see that
dude.
cinematic, what do you remember?
That's
Brings
definitely
back
that face,
so
though,
many
right?
memories. When you see that cinematic, what do you remember from that?
That was definitely the
Anytime
face,
you want
dude.
to talk about undead frozen dragons, how
Oh
can you
my
not go back to
God.
Sindragosa as the source? That was the first expansion I played with my youngest son.
Adderall.
So I can remember on that platform,
Dude.
black goo and chunks of ice falling off, and having
He said
to
the
repeat
word, dude.
platform,
Wait,
first
he said the
expansion I
word. He
played
said
with my
black
youngest
goo.
son. So I can remember on that platform, black goo and chunks of ice.
Wait, what is he talking about? Black goo? What is he talking about?
Wrath of the Lich King.
Anytime you want to talk about undead frozen dragons, how can you not go back to Sindragosa as the source? That was the first expansion I played with my youngest son. So I can remember on that platform, black goo and chunks of ice falling off, and having to repeat that battle with the Lich King. But when we
What is he talking about? The black goo? I don't know what scene he's talking about in WoW. Black goo is some really, 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 really red-pilled like conspiracy theory. That's why I'm like, wait, what? Why did he say that? It's literally a conspiracy theory about this like substance, this black like liquid-like substance that actually has sentience and will like absorb other substances and like get bigger. It's a crazy rabbit hole to go down. Don't do it. But that's funny. He's like black goo. Yeah, it's like some like people will like point out like people in the Illuminati making references to it, and like really big artists having references to it in music videos and in movies and stuff. Like black goo, dude, it's actually a really crazy rabbit hole, and there is a lot of strange references in like really high budget movies and music videos to black goo. It's actually a little bit weird. So that's why I was like, wait, why is he mentioning black goo, and what part of WoW is that in? Like, I don't know what he's talking
It
about.
was such an incredible.
Yeah, like
moment.
Venom's.
He jumped up out
Like
of his
Venom's
room, and I
standard, yeah.
jumped up out of my office. We're like, yeah, did it. So it's a very lasting tale for me.
So as you know, with this expansion, you will, in pre-patch, be able to play the Death Knight. They will start at level 55. You don't have to have a high-level character to make a Death Knight. So
Wait, 55? That's interesting. Because earlier he was talking about the new race starting at 58. He was like, it is a hero class like Death Knight, so it will start at 58. And now she's saying 55. Oh, wait, that's because it's different levels. She's talking about Lich King Classic now. Okay.
Everyone will be able to
I'm getting
make one.
confused.
We're excited to give players some time before
Thinking about
Wrath
Blackie.
officially launches to get geared up and ready to jump into Northrend with everybody else.
And
Lich King.
there are so many zones and areas to explore in Northrend, and I want us to talk about some of our favorites. So for me, Grizzly Hills has a very special
Grizzly
place
Hills.
in my heart. The music was some of the best I've experienced in World of Warcraft.
I still need
Facts.
to make my way all the way up to Storm Peaks to try and find the time lost protodrake.
You don't have that?
I've yet to get it.
I've got to say,
Come
though,
on.
The wide open nature of the zone, Wormrest Temple in the center of it. It's an
He still doesn't
unforgettable
have it.
experience as
Dang,
both a
man.
developer and a player, and kind of making that transition from one to the other.
Now let's talk about some changes. So one thing we looked at is Dungeon Finder, and it feels like how we envision Classic, Dungeon Finder is not a good fit for our community.
That was kind of the first step that may have eroded some of that social fabric. Now,
Are they getting
as
rid of
people
it?
have gone through the experience of going back to vanilla, rebuilding those groups, relying on each other, not wanting necessarily a random participant just to show up and then leave.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
But today, you can do that in Shadowlands. You'll be able to do that in Dragonflight. It's a self-selected group of people who specifically want that different experience.
Yes.
Let's make sure that's what we continue to give them.
That leads right into arena teams in Burning Crusade Classic. So we listen to the community and we remove that because individual rating is preferable and a better experience for them than arena teams. Also, with Wrath of the Lich King, Barbershop.
Wait. They removed arena teams from BC? Is that what she just said? Do they have personal rating in BC now? No. Are they gonna have personal rating in Lich King? That would be sick, dude. I definitely like rating more than teams. Like personal rating. Because it just lets you play with more people. You can just play with like whoever, you know? Like arena teams, dude. You gotta start a new team, start a new rating
Experience
again.
for them than arena teams. Also, with Wrath of the Lich King, Barbershop, which allows you to customize your character. We're going to
Barbershop.
be adding a few more options that were
Barbershop.
not existing when Wrath launched. But also there's another side of this where we
Barbershop.
are not going to charge a real money fee. It was a paid character customization fee, right?
Yeah.
It seems the right thing to do that just be available in game for gold and we add more options to it, right?
It's sort of like spell batching in a sense. There's a lot of technical advancements, and it's not about the philosophy of what makes classic classic and what brings people together. It's just what's the better experience.
Yeah,
and
dude,
let's
the
not
Lich King
artificially
from Blizzard with
restrict
like
something
better
that we
spell
can
batching,
provide
better
everyone
macros,
just for
better
the sake of
UI. It's
nostalgia.
gonna be sick.
We're happy to say this is one of those cases.
So, Wrath, the level cap's being increased to level 80, so we'll be introducing a level 70 boost so that players who want to get in with their friends or just explore Northrend right away will be able to do that.
Which I
and
totally
apply it
get.
to a Death Knight.
I know a lot of people like hate that they do the level boost. They got really mad when BC came out and they did the level 60 boost or level 58 boost. I don't have a problem with that at all, dude. Because honestly, it makes sense. Like, there's people who, let's take Lich King for example. There's people who love Lich King, right, and hate Burning Crusade, and they hate vanilla. They love Lich King. They want to play Lich King. Why are you gonna make them play vanilla and BC if they hate it? And they have money. Like they waited through vanilla, they waited through BC. Lich King's finally coming out. Here's your Lich King. You waited this whole time. Here you go. You finally get to play it. But before you do really get to experience, you gotta sit for a few hours and slog it through the shit that you hate, that you waited years of other people who enjoy it playing and just watching on the sidelines waiting for Lich King. We're still gonna at least make you run through that to hit level 70s before you start your favorite Lich King experience. Like, see, that's kind of dumb. When you think about it that way, that's dumb. Like, why would you do that to your customer? Why would you do that to them? Especially when you can make money from it. And they have money. They're like, dude, here, just take this. I don't want to go through this. The money part is a little scummy, though. You know what I mean? Because going back to thinking about that psychology of potentially making someone go through something they don't want to do is, like, kind of annoying. That you're, like, making money off of that. But the money aspect stops people from, like, just making fuck tons of characters for free. You know what I mean? Because then everyone is just like, oh, well, I'm just going to skip it. instantly get to 70, instantly get to 70, instantly get to 70. Then you have a botting problem, then you have a hacker problem. Then it's just ridiculous. So the money aspect is potentially just a way to filter too many like bots and hackers from being high levels, while also still giving an option to people who just really don't want to deal with that, dude. Maybe just don't enjoy that. So I actually don't have a problem with that. I know that was like a huge controversy when PC came out, the whole boosting thing, but everyone always wants to be mad at Blizzard for making money. Dude, there's way more things to be mad at them for than that, though. Like, seriously, way more things that are actually, like, people should be mad at them for, but I don't think that's something. All right,
But you
moving
won't be
on.
able to use it otherwise. And of course, we have inscription, a whole new profession, so we're really excited about that. Yeah, and as we continue this road to Wrath,
Yeah, glyphs and
we're
Lich King are
looking to
sick.
getting a lot more feedback on beta, and we'll make changes as we need to.
Such an exciting time.
I'm probably going to play Arcane
World of
Mage and Lich
Warcraft.
King.
We have the return of the Wrath of Lich King for classic fans.
Feral Jew,
and
Arcane Mage,
taking
and
us somewhere
Subrug.
new with Dragonflight. We're so excited to be able to bring these adventures to you. Don't forget, there's a deep dive on Dragonflight where you're going to get a lot more information. Thank you so much for spending this time with us, and we'll see you in Azeroth.
And we'll see you in Northrend.
And in the Dragon Isles.
We'll see you in Azeroth, Northern, and the Dragon Isles. Even though all of that
Hi there.
actually
Welcome
is
to the
in
Dragonflight Deep
Azeroth.
Dive. I'm Steve Denuser. And I'm Taryn Gregory.
All right, so going into the deep dive now, we just watched the first half where they basically give us the groundwork for everything. Everything now is the deep dive. Just to chat, do you guys have any thoughts so far? For the rest of this, I'm going to actually turn up the speed. We're going to turn up the playback speed. We're going to double it, all right? We're going to speed run through this. If I could make it faster, I would. Everything is very safe. Everything is very safe. Well, yeah. I don't know. I feel like safe isn't bad if they're actually listening, though. And it seems like, and this is why, this is one of the reasons way back in the day before Classic re-release was even on the table, this was one of the biggest arguments, at least that I would say, for why they should run Classic servers. And I was even going to the point where it's like, don't even necessarily run them if you don't want to. Like, at least instead of suing private servers and shutting them down, just do some kind of like legal thing where you can like pull data from them or like require them to run analytics that they hand over to you based on player information. And if you do run Classic servers and have all of them running along with retail, then yeah, you get all of those analytics, you get all of that player data to see what people really like from each and every expansion. And then with all that data, you can make the best expansion, take all the little aspects that everyone likes from each thing and turn it into the best expansion that you can. You couldn't do that when there was no classics. When there was only just retail, there was no way for them to do anything like that. And they weren't pulling analytics from private servers. So it's like, how could you do that? Now they can. Now they have Classic. It's still out. They're running Season of Mastery. They got BC. As far as private servers, I haven't really been seeing them ban streamers lately for playing private servers. So I don't know if that's also like maybe something that they're pulling information from, like feeling things out. But yeah, this is actually pretty exciting. I'm excited for Highlands. Like you mentioned that it's safe, but again, if it's safe if it's safety based on them looking at their previous work and pulling the best aspects and things that worked in those periods and then just pulling them into their new project, that is safe. But is that bad? Is that necessarily bad? Like typically when someone says safe, it means like, you're going through the focus groups. You're going through the game psychologists and the human psychologist and figuring out how humans tick. You're figuring out what your main age demographic is. You're making the music BPM match up with their heart rate. Like, you're doing all this psychological stuff that video games do nowadays to make people have more screen time. When I think of safe coming from a AAA gaming company, that's what I think of. I think of all those gimmicks to make a game more addictive. So safe to me coming from a AAA gaming company is like a bad word. But in this situation, I don't really think that's bad because I don't feel like, well, you know, obviously there's going to be those psychological tricks when you're actually playing the game. There's going to be the fucking dopamine boosts all over the place. You know, that's still going to be there. But as far as like, you know, pulling in the safe aspects from other expansions and stuff, like, I mean, I think it's cool that they're listening, you know, like the talent things is cool. They're stealing my time-tested UI. Bro, I told you guys, I know all about the feng shui, man. I know all about the interior design. I've been trying to tell you guys. Taking my UI, $1 billion company. What does that say? I'm putting that on my resume, baby. All right, for real though, I'm pretty excited, man. I'm pretty excited. Heck yeah, dude. It feels good to be excited as a WoW player again. So that's dope, dude. All right, let's speed run through this deep dive, though, guys.
Off here, we're going to talk about the setting and the story of Dragonflight. We've got this great expansion, exciting pre-render trailer that everyone just watched. So let's talk about the setting for Dragonflight.
That's really fast.
The Dragon Isles have been known for a long time in Warcraft history as a mysterious place where the dragons came from long ago, but we never knew much more than that. We're going to this place that is kind of the broodlands of all the Dragonflights, the place where they nested, where they built their civilization. The Dragon Isles was the center of the Dragon's kingdom when the world was young and the mortal races were just starting to form kingdoms of their own. But when the Legion invaded for that War of the Ancients, that sundering that resulted from the explosion of the Well of Eternity, literal sundering of the continents of Azeroth, and because of the breaking of the world, that magic kind of drained away and the land went dormant. So they had to leave the Dragon Isles behind. And as we saw in the pre-render, they left behind some Titan Watchers to look over the land. And when someday they hoped that elemental energy would resurge once again and draw the dragons home, reestablish their kingdom. And that's when the message goes out to the flights and they feel it in their bones. Now it's the time for the sky to light up with the colors of the aspects once again, and for Alex Straza and the others to come home. But the land has changed a lot in all these thousands of years they've been away, and some very old threats have awakened as well. We're looking into the culture of dragons as they exist in Warcraft. Dragons as we know them today were very different in the early past, the early history of Azeroth. They were much more primitive, much more savage, what we now know as proto-dragons. And then some of the dragons were empowered to become the aspects. The green flight, red flight, blue flight, bronze flight, black flight, each with unique powers, each with the ability to protect the world in different ways. These pillars of draconic power appointed to defend Azeroth from threats within and without. Dragons used that power both for good in the case of most of the aspects, but also for nefarious reasons in the case of the black dragonflights led by...
It's funny how these guys are just like explaining, they're like recapping the lore really quickly, like that we already know about the game, as well as like peppering in some of the new stuff with Dragonflight. Like, but they're doing it in a way where they're not looking at the camera and like being like, so this is what's going on with the dragons. They're doing it while looking at each other and like smiling, and they just kind of have that energy, like they're two nerds who are hanging out at like a gamer bar or something, just sharing a beer, and they're just like, we love World of Warcraft. Let's talk about World of Warcraft lore. Like, it's so funny, dude. Here, I'm gonna slow it down a little bit.
Dragons used that power both for good in the case of...
They're just like, yeah, and that time when the dragons... You remember the time in Blizzard? You remember the time in World of Warcraft when the dragons came in, and then the Aztecs, they stepped in, and Alex Straza, and they're just like, yeah. Like, they're just like, yeah, dude, I fucking love WoW, dude.
The black dragonflights led by Neltharion who would become Deathwing. And what we'll find in
I love their energy.
Some of these ancient divisions run deep, and so it begs the question, where do we go from here? If this is an opportunity to reclaim their legacy, to be the protectors as the cinematic mentioned,
I love these guys, dude.
To do that, they're going to need the help of our heroes, our players, to come to the Dragon Isles with them and face some of these reawakening challenges, because it's not just that this land is peacefully waiting for the dragons to return and reclaim it. There's those old enemies that have awakened as well. Yeah. One of those being a race of kind of elemental aftershocks.
Yeah, I know.
The Dragon Isles isn't just populated by dragons or just
yeah,
by
I
fucking
know, dude.
Many other occupants here in the Dragon Isles have been here either just recently or for a while, including
and
fans' favorite coming back, the Tuskar. That's going to be awesome. We've got other cultures there as well in the Dragon Isles. We're going to find out about a civilization of centaurs that predates the ones that arose on Kalimdor much later. And some of our favorite characters that we've seen over the last few expansions.
These guys are awesome.
And whether he's ready to step up into a leadership role, or if there are other alternatives out there that would be better suited to the job of being the aspect of the Black Dragonflight. I think one thing the players are going to be really excited about this expansion is the new playable race, the Drakthir. That's right. And this is something that Neltharion,
can't wait to embrace my furry side,
that he put into motion. Neltharion saw those primalists that were kind of breaking away from the aspects and what they wanted. And so in those first experiments, he took the essence of dragons, their strength, their nobility, their wisdom, and he combined it with that scrappiness, that adaptability that the mortal races had. And he wanted to use that to create the ideal soldier in his mind, the Drakthir. Exploration is really one of the key themes of this expansion. We're going to be going to this ancient place that the dragons left behind long ago. So we've made these huge zones with all kinds of places to delve into and find little treasures and little secrets tucked away. It's going to be a lot of fun for players to be exploring these landscapes.
And there's so much architectural history and how clearly aspirational was the kingdom of the dragons and how it lost so much. And the themes of trying.
I hope we can use the Gnomish Gravity Well and Goblin Gliders in the new zone before flying gets added. Because you know we gonna be going crazy. We gonna be going crazy with the world PvP if we can, dude.
To return to that, to try to find your legacy, to try to figure out who you were before everything went.
And the thing is if the world PvP isn't good, if the expansion blows, we still got Lich King, dude. We got the backup plan. Ooh, that's so sick. Because usually the last few expansions on WoW, it's like, oh man, it's like, should I get excited? Should I get my hopes up? Like, I really don't want to get let down again. But it's like, dude, whatever. Get excited. Because there's still Lich King to fall back on, dude. That's actually awesome. Dude. I'm going to get excited, boys. I'm going to get excited, man. Heck yeah, dude. Excited as a WoW player in 2022? That was not on my bingo card. That's awesome, dude. Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah, dude. Yo, let it be known. Tweet it out. Tweet it out, boys. Wildlands, stoked on WoW. I mean, not on Shadowlands. I'm not gonna resub right this second. You know what's happening before any of this even comes out is Elder Scrolls Online, like in a month, in like 3 weeks, is coming out with a new expansion. So I'm gonna test that out. So hold on. All this excitement, right when this video is done, we're pausing it for like until Lich King comes out, dude. Dude, I'm stoked though, man. I can't wait to try Dragonflight. Obviously, Lich King's gonna be sick. Heck yeah, there, dudes. New talents on the thing, on the next expansion.
Right.
It's gonna be
But
sick,
there's questions, thematic questions of what does it mean to be true to your legacy? Are we going to repeat the mistakes of the past?
The dragons have had to learn those lessons just like the mortal kingdoms have had to. And I think that's one of the reasons why the dragons see this now as the time that they have to return and they have to step up once again as protectors of Azeroth. We're helping the dragons because the dragons have helped us in the past too. So by using the Explorers League and the Reliquary together, that allows us to delve into some of that history.
And when I look, upon the Dragon Isles and all of its visual splendor, I get so excited for the prospect of a truly Azerothian adventure alongside Kalikos, along with Rathian, Ebonhorn, with Ysera's daughter Marithra, as each one of them is trying to find their own flight. I am taken by the exploration and the potential for adventure and just new horizons within this world.
There's going to be old stories from that time past, that history that only the dragons knew for the longest time. We're going to be able to explore that.
It really feels like just a breath of fresh air.
So now we're going to turn things over to some of our colleagues who will take you on that deep dive into the locations and the features of Dragonflight.
Hello, I'm Stephanie.
I'm Josh.
I'm Jackie.
And I'm Gary. And we're part of the teams that are building the first two zones that you'll encounter in the Dragon Isles, the Waking Shore and the Unaran Plains. The very first zone in Dragonflight you're going to come to is the Waking Shores. It's wild, untamed land. It's waking up around you too, and the elements are just going crazy.
Our team again has hit it out of the park.
You'll see like a lava mountain flowing in through the beach, giant proto-dragons swooping down, gobbling up members of your expedition.
We have such rife opportunities to show elementals rising up because of the crazy magic that's flying around.
The one of the things I love is just how you get to the Dragon Isles, right? So you're going to get on your boat in Stormwind or Orgrimmar, and the first thing you do is sail between like the dragon ruin architectures. The boats come right alongside each other. You can jump from one boat to the other and just start causing havoc on the other faction's boat.
For those who love PvP, this is a great opportunity for Wormwood.
It's free for all out there.
No way.
But it's okay. There's an innkeeper on the beach, so that if you're in that situation and you don't want to be in Wormwood anymore, you can just hop out right there.
The Reliquary and the Explorers League are working together.
The Horde and Alliance are sending an expedition together. It's not the military, it's not the soldiers. This is the scientists, the settlers, exploring this new land. So it's a lot more optimistic tone.
One of my favorite things about the Waking Shores is the Red Dragonflight, led by Queen Alstraza, the Lifebinder. They have the mandate of nurturing and protecting all life.
So usually when you start a new expansion, I feel like they typically start factions away from each other. Like in Miss of Pandaria, you come into Jade Forest, but two factions start on north and south of the Jade Forest. Warlords of Draenor, one faction starts way in the northwest, the other starts in the southeast. Legion, where do you start at in Legion? I think you get to pick or something, don't you? I don't remember all of them. But that's sick. You start literally, you go in at the same place at the same time. That's actually sick. I mean, that makes sense too. That kind of makes sense.
Which means Horde and Alliance, Gorloks, Trolls, everybody. So they take that duty seriously when the Horde and Alliance...
It actually makes sense because they're adding cross-faction play, right? Yeah, they're adding cross-faction. So instead of having like, oh, Horde setting up camp here, Alliance setting up camp here, it's just like, dude, here's a neutral city. Right when you get off, like there's just one, just go there. That's
come to
sick.
Waking Shores. They want to be there to help guide the people through the new land and welcome them. But they're not the only one in the Waking Shores.
We have the ancestral home of the black dragonflight there too, which has fallen on tough times since Deathwing's descent. And so Rathian's coming over to the Isles with us, and he's going to try and come to terms with the state of the dragonflight, which is a few loyal draconids and dragon spawn trying to hold their ground. What can the future of the dragonflight be if it's just Rathian? Because it's not just the dragons that are coming back to the Dragon House, but also their longtime rival, the Jarden.
I love the Jarden so much. They're half giants that wield the power of magma, and when the Waking Shores and the Dragon House went to slumber, they also slumbered. They're back now, and they are ready to raise chaos.
Yeah, they're massive. They're riding giant lava mammoths, parading around, just stomping on your face.
And they were the enemies of the Dragonflight for so long. They fought against the Red Dragonflight, hunted dragons down, and they're really taking this opportunity to rise up. As the Red Dragonflight have the mandate of nurturing life, they don't want to just stomp out the Jarden completely, but they want to make sure that they don't have the power to affect those around them negatively, to make sure they don't go on a rampage and destroy the ecosystem that's been created here.
And so those are awesome things in the Waking Shore, but Seth, there really is only one right answer for the best thing in Waking Shores, right?
What?
This is true. Ducks.
We finally have those webbed feet hooligans in our game. We've got the technology. We've got
Figure it out.
The ducks are a thing, dude. The ducks are a thing. What? The ducks are a thing. Oh my god. The ducks. That actually was a real whiteboard.
How they can fly.
You should be proud.
It's gonna be
Oh
awesome.
my
The Onaran Plains come right
gosh.
after the Waking Shores.
That's
It's
so
breathtaking
funny.
at first glance.
The Onaran Plains are big, wide open plains, and the player is going to be constricted a little
Oh
bit,
my
and then you see
God.
this big contrast. You don't always get that opportunity, that cinematic moment where the player can have a framed view when they see this area.
Come out and you got that postcard shot
love
of the
that.
plains. And then you see this giant fire proto-dragon breathing fire and a herd of centaur like harpoon down the proto-dragon, crash into the ground. And the first thing you get to do is go help them kill the proto-dragon. Like, how cool is that?
Spoilers!
Onara is the wild god of the wind. And she's appeared before as like this big spirit eagle. She's the one who guided the
Unbelievable.
centaur to the Dragon Isles many, many years ago. She blessed them, took their caravan across, and then showed them the plains.
Now, fun at the beginning of this expansion was exploring the culture of the centaur.
The centaur are these mighty, awesome hunters that back when they first came to the Dragon Isles, they fought the green dragons all day long. Eventually they realized that we're strong, you're strong, maybe we should stop decimating each other's people. We'll make peace, we'll make an agreement. You guys hang out in the groves and the centaur will hang out in the plains. But now the dragons have been gone for 10,000 years. And the centaur have come so far since then. And they've been here and they've been existing and developing their culture. They all came over as one clan led by the mighty Maruk and Tira, and they founded a new life here. So if you want to get across, you have to follow their rules and their traditions. You have to earn their trust. You are the first outsiders to come in generations upon generations. The centaur might rule the open plains, but the green dragons make their home in the groves. And those groves are absolutely gorgeous.
And how great a job it is that we have where I can take all of this beautiful artwork and build these beautiful fantasy groves, high fantasy. We want to do lots of things with an open plane, and we want to be creative with that. But we're restraining ourselves by letting the zone sing, letting the horizon tell the story. We certainly couldn't have done that in Vanilla WoW.
The zones are so big and you can see so far, especially in Onaran Plains. So we talked to the engineers and we actually increased that distance.
It spurs you on to want to adventure and look through the zone and explore everything.
The interesting thing for me is we have all these conflicts with the dragonflights. There's missing dragons, there's battles, there's so much crazy stuff happening, but that's not really all we're doing. There's so much extra fun activities for people to do. And the greatest thing is that you need to figure out exactly what's going on and help solve all the problems that are just sprouting up everywhere.
We're just really excited to tell a story that's grounded in Azeroth and exploration. There's so much more to talk about. But now we're gonna have some folks talking about the next two zones that players can experience in the Dragon Isles.
Yeah, those two zones are pretty cool.
Hello everyone, my name is Kate. I'm Christy. I'm Kate.
I'm Sean. We're going to talk today about Valdrassus and the Azure Span. So Azure Span is going to be the third zone that players adventure through, and it's one of our biggest zones that we've done in the Dragonflight, maybe even to date.
We knew it was going to be like the largest visual elevation change, and it really started with this great concept art. When we first were taking a look at the design, we kept coming back to one of our favorite Wrath zones, which was Grizzly Hills. And we really wanted to take that, but wowify it more. And I don't know if you've ever been up to the Bay Area, but in the morning, that coastal fog comes in and dips down into the redwoods, and that sun shines through. That's really what we wanted to encapsulate with this forest. And not only do we have redwoods, we've got all different types of trees. Eventually, it'll break open into this wide open tundra that's just golden and red, and you'll reach up to another level of elevation where you get to see the snow. The majority of the zone is covered in snow and ice. We have giant frozen waterfalls, ice
It
rivers
is
as far
kinda
as the eye
giving
can
me Grizzly
see.
Hill
Sean and I know
vibes.
in the forest, we can expect our first creatures.
We have a small group that lives there called the Gnolls. These Gnolls are all throughout the forest in Azure Span. They made this their home. Some Gnolls with strange magic that we're going to find out what exactly that's about. Snow Gnolls, or as I call them, the Snolls, up in the winter area. And then some regular
They've
Gnolls that
got
are just going to be on the
upgraded
forest area. So then we go
Gnolls.
into the big open tundra where we meet our second group, the Tuskar.
It's going to
They've
be really neat to explore their
got
culture a lot. And those kids are adorable. I absolutely love the Tuskar. Honestly, all my downtime's probably to be hanging out with the Tuskar.
So it's been a little while since you've seen them. We remember the Tuskar from Wrath of the Lich King. They're also getting a nice cool upres for their models, along with expanding their culture. So there are going to
Yeah,
be
the res
Tuskar,
look good.
Tuskar kids. So we're going to fight alongside them, which
Whoa,
includes
Tuskars
help
look
from
crazy
certain
now,
dragons,
though.
the blue dragons. We're going to follow the story of Kalagos, our blue dragon buddy from the Kirin Tor, and he's going to be adventuring into Syndragos' archives. It's a giant zone. There's a lot of surprises. When we're done there, we head over to Valdrassus.
Valdrassus.
It's really incredible because you will be going through some of the previous zones and seeing a lot of ruins for the
420
dragon
waterfall,
buildings.
dude.
But when you get to Valdrassus, everything is perfectly intact. It's beautiful. It's pristine. It is the seat of power for all 5 dragonflights and home of the dragons. It feels that way with the huge vertical mountains. We've got these great cave systems where you may end up finding little dragon hordes.
My favorite dragonflight right now is the Bronze. They've got a really cool area in Valdrassus, and their magic is time. There's so many cool story hooks that we could dig into there. There's so many cool gameplay options, and we have a little bit of an adventure for players. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Can't wait.
We really wanted it to feel like their old stomping grounds. One of the really cool features is going to be the main city and player hub for this expansion, Valdraken. It is a culmination of all of the dragons' efforts to put together what a city would look like. So we ended up having a bunch of really fun small vignettes where you can see that the blue dragonflight is hosting a public library, and the red and green dragonflights both have their own separate gardens. We'll also have some convenient services for players, including an auction house in the city, which will be really nice if you're looking for more exotic squares. The thing that really sold me on Valdrassus was the initial concept art we got of Tierhold.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. And this is a 10,000-year-old Titan technological marvel. Tierhold has these awesome aqueducts that actually come out from the structure all the way to the city across the valley. And in the cinematic, there's just this amazing shot where you see Alexstrasza swoop under one of them, and there's splashes of water cresting across her wings. So when players are flying around themselves, they get to have their Alexstrasza moment. What an incredible place, and filled with so much history.
Tierhold was built by Tyr. He was a Titan Keeper back in the day who helped the Aspects fight Galakrond. And when they settled on the Dragon Isles, he built this facility. And even though Tyr's gone, the dragons have held him in reverence. But that was 10,000 years ago. And they've let the Titans maintain the place. An incredible amount of history has happened since then. Lights have been nearly wiped out. There have been invasions, betrayals. Aspects have died. And these are the kind of things that leave marks on a society. So now they're all back here, and they're all here together.
As we were designing the zone and the city itself, we're trying to figure out, how do we tell those stories at the same time as making sure that this is a really convenient place for players to go and, go shopping, as they tend to do. So much adventuring happening on the Dragon Isles.
It's so cool.
As a player, you probably don't have your own dragon wings. You are going to learn the art of dragon riding.
It's so vertical, and I'm just excited to dive off the tops of towers and swoop under things.
It's actually one of the things that we're about to learn about next.
Hi, I'm Jake. I'm Andy.
I'm Kali.
And I'm Graham. And I'm really excited to talk to you guys today about the Dracthyr Evoker, our new race and class coming in Dragonflight.
We're here to talk about not only the Evoker, but also dragon riding, which is our exciting expression into the exploration of the Dragon Isles.
We knew with a dragon-themed expansion, we wanted to let you play a dragon. Not a big dragon, Alexstrasza size. That'd be tough to fit into raids. I'm sorry, Jake.
Okay,
I know.
fine.
But a draconic humanoid. So the Dracthyr, created by Neltharion.
And like our other hero classes, you get to choose if you want to start on the Horde or Alliance side on character creation.
So let's talk a little bit about the Evoker, the class they can be. What's unique about it is because the Dracthyr are created by an aspect, they have the ability to wield the magic of all 5 dragonflights. So Evokers can take advantage of red magic and blue magic and bronze magic.
And to show that, we created a visual, what we call a prismatic effect. This prismatic effect is basically the coalescence of all their energy as they channel it into whatever spell that they're going to cast. You have a red magic spell called Pyre, so when you shoot it out of your mouth, it twirls in the air with all 5 of the Dragonflight's magic as it turns into the red spell before landing on your enemies and exploding and hopefully burning them.
I'll take that one.
Getting that vibe across that they use all 5 was really important to us, but we did want to make sure that each specialization focused on 2, because casting 5 different colors gets a bit messy. So their damage dealer specialization, their first of 2, Devastation, mostly focuses on red and blue magic. Red being very fast and explosive, burning everything with Pyre, whereas blue is more focused and overwhelming. You can shoot a beam of energy out of your mouth to disintegrate one single enemy in front of you.
There's a healer spec called Preservation. The healer spec is going to focus mostly on your green and your bronze magic. So your green is going to be evocative of the Emerald Dream, your growth and your nurturing spells, and then you have your bronze magic, which is going to be more timey-wimey. So you get to heal a wound faster.
So in addition to the visuals and the animation, which all make you feel very powerful, you really want the player to have a physical connection to the cast. We have a new type of spell called Empower, where when you actually hold down the button on your keyboard, it charges up a spell. The longer you charge it up, it might do more damage or hit more targets depending on the spell, but it gives you this really physical connection and control. It's
Empowered spells.
We have some great animations, thank you, Andy.
By holding it, it's like a charge smash on melee or something.
Actually fly around the battlefield and cast while you're flying.
Raining fire and death from above, it's great.
In addition to the gameplay, though, another part of feeling draconic is looking like a dragon.
Well, we talk about dragons breathing fire, but you know what's actually fire?
What's actually
These
fire?
customizations.
Oh my goodness.
But no, they're really, really
They're
cool.
awesome.
Because you have both your draconic form and your humanoid form, and the customization options for both of them are amazing.
They're very good.
What about color? Just tell me
us about color. You can do a lot of matching. So your Visage form can have scales that are the same color as your Dracthyr form.
But my favorite, super favorite part of customization for the Visage form, hair.
Yeah.
Because I can actually do this in game.
Yeah, the check is here.
As players make their way through each of the areas of the Dragon Isles, they'll partner up with the Dragonflights to move through the air as they've never done before. You'll notice I did not say flying, because flight has a very specific meaning for World of Warcraft.
Yeah,
and we're talking about something new called dragon riding.
And as the players are honing their dragon riding skills,
dragon
we get
riding
to
is
see
pretty
all the
sick.
animations that go along with the different look and feel of the drakes.
We're aiming to shake up movement with this new system, providing players with a deeper immersion with forces like momentum and gravity.
We knew that for Dragonflight, we were going to have the opportunity to show players
so
a
they
whole
can
new set of
hopefully
Dragon Isle drakes,
slowly add
completely
like
unique
physics,
from all the
like
other things
actual
they've seen in World of
physics
Warcraft. And
into
so
the
we wanted to come up with
engine.
a movement system that would add
Or is
that
it a
sense
whole
of
new
physics,
engine that has
weight, and gravity, like
physics?
you were mentioning. We knew it was going to take a huge team effort, not just animation, but it was going to take effects. It was going to take the engineering team, who we rely on heavily, and that combined with some new animations.
That
really
is
helps
actually
that feeling
pretty
of
crazy.
physics as you move through the air in ways that you haven't before. And the icing on the cake is going to be some really cool effects that we've added on top of all of that. So, for example, when you start hitting maximum velocity, you're going to see contrails coming off the edges of the wings. And then as you do your rolls and spirals, you build up more and more speed. There's going to be some screen effects on the display to indicate that you're reaching maximum velocity, which really adds to the overall kind of.
That is like I know it might not seem like a big deal. Like I know earlier I was kind of like, oh, cool. Like they're adding animations to flying. Cool. Like I was kind of like tongue in cheek joking on it a little bit. But like it is pretty impressive because WoW is such an old engine. It's not Unreal Engine or anything like that. It doesn't have like that physics built in, dude. It's literally just them like rigidly moving like flapping things around. Like I don't know, dude. Like their engine is so old and it's like I don't know how to describe this, but to think about them like making those animations and to culminate all of it and to actually feeling like there's physics in this engine is actually pretty impressive.
Immersion and sense of reality.
As players make their way through the Dragon Isles, they'll discover new cosmetic options to fine-tune their Dragon Isle Drake's appearances. Things like snoots, horns, tails, elusive Dragon Isle Drake armor, and more.
Can I have spikes?
Definitely. Okay, we want to provide players with all new skills to play with, as those who can use their momentum well can reach higher and higher heights, and bring on new, more difficult challenges.
We just have so many new gorgeous options to choose from, and I'm just so excited for all of them.
I'm excited for the whole thing. I mean, it's been a lot of fun to work on, but I can't wait to actually get in the game.
Are they gonna be... Wait, hold on. Is there gonna be more depth to dragon riding than they're leading on right now? Because they're kind of making it seem like dragon riding is just like cooler animations, a feeling of movement in the air that's more immersive, and like customization options. But what if it's more than that? What if there's like some sort of like sweet spot mechanics with dragon flying on your turns and with your barrel rolls that like give you small little speed boosts here and there, and they just turn it into like flying Mario Kart, where they have like full-on levels that suddenly coalesce in the air when you start a quest or talk to an NPC, and you're there with players and you're going around like these zones that are familiar to you, but suddenly it's a track, a flight track, and you're trying to maximize your like little boost barrel roll like dive bomb turns to get the most momentum built up so that you can like have a little advantage and get first place. I don't think their engine is like good enough to go that crazy, but that would be pretty insane, dude, if somehow it evolves into that. And who knows, maybe it will. Like Ian was talking about earlier how it's like they introduce new systems and then a new expansion comes out and it's like all new systems, and the systems they just added in the previous expansion are now gone and replaced. And it's like, well, that's kind of lame that we got used to all this new stuff and now it's already gone one expansion later. And they wanted to change that and add new systems that had the intention of being in the game as a permanent thing. So with that being said, dragon riding, it's possibly like something that right now we're just seeing in its baby forms, and could be something that they want to turn into like what I just described. And maybe that's not even possible until they have a new engine. Like Unreal Engine 5 is looking pretty promising, man. Especially for like moving older engines into. There's a good possibility that with Microsoft buying Blizzard now, it's like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm interested though. And you know, with WoW, dude, even during the lulls where it's not really that fun and where I'm not really playing the game or that interested, I'm always keeping an eye on it. I'll always be a WoW fanboy. I'll always be a huge WoW nerd and a huge WoW lore fanboy and shit. And, you know, I always wanted to do good. So, yeah, this is actually really exciting, man. I'm glad to be...
Play it with you guys.
Glad to be excited for WoW again, dude.
Next up, you're going to hear about the talent revamp and the UI changes coming in Dragonflight.
All right, this is exciting.
Hello, my name is Brian.
I'm Crash.
I'm Jay.
And I'm Laura.
Oh, dude, it's Halinka. It's Halinka, dude.
We are very excited to share you're finally revamping the WoW HUD UI.
And it is also time for a major revamp to talents and specializations.
I have a big question for the group. How long do you think it took for us to finally revamp the WoW HUD?
My guess is like 15 years.
Close, 18 years. 18 years. Wow.
You know, technology has changed a lot since we made the UI back in 2004. Now you have like bigger monitors, and we have better dev tools to work with, so it makes sense to have the revamp right now. Also, if you look at the game today, the art evolved beautifully over the years, and if you look at the HUD looks like it got frozen time.
So when we approached this, we wanted to create a layout experience that players could customize, move things around, adjust it to fit their needs.
Add-ons today, they do a lot for player customization.
The downside is that not everybody uses them. It's about time that everybody has the opportunity to use them, that they become a part of the base UI.
Yeah, and we are working very closely with our user research team to make sure we are hitting the goals that our player needs.
It allowed us to add new functionality to improve accessibility in a lot of areas.
I'm excited about this because they're making it my UI.
Yeah, so the art update is a big part of this project.
My ego's so
boosted
right
has a lot
now.
of charm and personality, and players have been using that for 18 years. So with that in mind, we want to respect the players who really like the current UI, but do a more than take to it, removing the clutter and giving more visibility for your gameplay. So the new minimap, it looks bigger, and the health bar is also much bigger. If you look at the action bars in the bottom menus, they have less head frames, and you can really open up your gameplay, so you don't have a lot of your UI in front of you. And of course, we want to find iconic pieces from the current HUD, but we want to bring it back in a nice way. So we for sure didn't
Dude, Link is looking
so nice
freaking
now.
good,
and the Horde,
dude. It's
don't
like he
worry,
aged
we got you.
backwards.
We're gonna have your version as well. So let's talk about the edit mode.
We are putting a mode in that will let players move various HUD elements around on the screen. So I'm able to move the minimap, say, from the right corner all the way over to the left corner. If I want to bring my action bars from the bottom and kind of put them more in the center by my character, those are all things that I'll be able to do. Absolutely. And each of those different components will have various sets of options that you'll be able to work with. They'll be able to save it, edit it, copy it, name it.
Nice.
Also,
So they're building
give them a
Dominus
spec
into the game,
so
basically.
if you're someone who
It's
jumps
pretty
around a
dope.
lot, as you switch,
Dominus
it will switch
is
to whatever
add-on.
HUD layout you have for that spec.
This is an ongoing project. We're gonna keep working on it. So we really want to hear back from you.
A project that we're all excited about that we've been collaborating a lot on is something that's pretty UI intensive, and that's the talent system.
It hadn't changed in a long time, like you said before, and we really started with how can we have players have more choice over what their character has?
As you level up, we give you a new spell or a new ability, something that kind of makes you stronger, but it's determined by the designers. We decide the order.
Yeah, we started looking for a system that would give players a much wider set of options.
And after looking at all those things, what we really returned back to was the idea of trees. It's actually 2 trees. We have a class tree that offer different class abilities, and then we have a spec tree that is focused on performing your role, whether that's damage, tank, or healing.
Can I just jump in and say that I personally am super excited about having trees come back? There's a big nostalgia hit for me.
So we have these 2 trees because we feel like picking a specialization is a really important part of your World of Warcraft character now, and so we want to make sure that when you choose that, it kind of affects the tree in some way.
Yeah, as soon as you open your talent tree, you'll see something new. The class side will have some abilities filled out for free, just kind of starting you off in that spec you've chosen, but then you'll have your first point to spend in the class tree, which could be something related to that spec or role, or it could be something from elsewhere in the class.
There's a lot of things that we can do here, and part of that is encouraging players to perhaps make combinations that they've never really been able to see in the game before. This is an opportunity to put a lot more art and fantasy in the actual talent UI itself.
You have seen that a lot through most recent expansions, but not the base UI.
We want you to be able to tinker with it. We want you to be able to make a lot of changes at a lot of times and not necessarily have to commit. The power really is coming back to the player. It's not something we want people to feel locked into, and so one of the things that we'll be preserving is the ability to change these talents at the same kind of frequency that you do now.
Yeah, the old school players, when you see trees this time, just think, yeah, I'll go from my raid night to my arena match and figure out what I think is the best for both of those.
And that's a process we want to make really fluid. So we're building a save load feature that lets you create your build, name it, save it, and then load it up very quickly and freely.
That was like the first thing I noticed too when they showed it earlier.
Over the years, but one of the coolest is when players can hold the building blocks of what can make up their class, their spec, and put them together in a way that works for them.
So these are really cool features that we've been working long and hard on. We're very excited about them.
Facts.
Just an early preview of the things we've been doing.
Facts,
we can't wait to see the reaction that you have to them.
exciting.
Please reach out to us and let us know your thoughts on them. And next up, we're going to talk about professions and dragonflight.
Professions.
Hi, I'm
Do we care about
And we're going to talk about our
professions?
plans for professions in Dragonflight. Professions have been a staple of World of Warcraft forever, and they've seen lots of really cool incremental updates over their life. But for Dragonflight, we want to do something a bit different. We really want to rethink professions and figure out how to make them part of your identity as a player. That's what we want.
We really want to make sure that professions feel fun and relevant across all levels of gameplay.
That brings us to our first update, something that we're calling crafting orders. If you want to have something crafted for you, but you don't have the skill or the right profession to do it for yourself, you can have it crafted through a crafting order. You can basically browse any of the recipes that can be crafted, pick the one you want for yourself, and then you include some or all of the reagents needed for the recipe, including ones that only you can get your hands on. You can find someone in person to do it right in front of you for you, or you can also go to an NPC and using an auction house-like interface, send the order out. If you're doing this, you can pick, do you want to send the order to anyone from a public order, or do you want to...
So it's basically a feature they're adding into the UI to remove less like trade chat clutter of people looking for professions. Like instead you just open up a UI and you can go through orders that people need. Or you can post your own order if you need something. That's actually pretty sick.
To your guild or to a specific...
Because it's still a way that like keeps people being socialized and like relying on each other, but it makes it like a lot easier on the eyes to just sort through and at your own pace too, instead of trade chat just like constantly going.
Or maybe it's a friend who will be able to craft the item.
That's a good idea, dude.
You are really
We should try to do more stuff like that in
One of the
general.
coolest things about this is the
It's
item you
actually a
have
really
crafted
good idea.
can also be soul-bound. In the past, you could only get your hands on crafted soul-bound items by having that profession yourself. Now anyone can have them crafted for them, which is really neat and really expands the number of items that we can provide that are really powerful because everyone can have them crafted through the crafting order system.
This is also really cool because it means as a crafter, you can start building your client base. People are going to come back to you to get certain items. Maybe you're the best at making it, or you always learn a little something extra. You're also going to be leveling up your profession. It's going to be really great.
So the first time you go to craft, you're going to notice a lot of different things, but probably the
so
biggest
the
is the
bots have
introduction of quality,
competition.
both to your crafted items and your gathered reagents. Quality works in a pretty simple way. If you craft something that's a higher quality, it's just going to be better. For a piece of gear, that probably means a higher item level. If it's, for instance, a potion, that might mean a more powerful effect at a higher quality.
And we're doing a lot of new things in the UI. We've put a lot of work into it to make sure that the professions feel really special and unique.
And another thing you might notice in the crafting UI that's new is the introduction of stats specifically to your professions, both crafting and gathering. And this is another sort of major input into quality. Probably the biggest source of your ability to craft items at a higher quality is through crafting specializations. We've had crafting specializations in the past, as far back as original World of Warcraft. With Dragonflight, you can go out and earn specialization points in a whole bunch of different ways. So maybe you find an old book on a bookshelf in a ruin somewhere, or a hermit in a cave who can teach you a little bit about your profession. So let's say you're a blacksmith.
That's cool.
You might decide
That's like
that
Elder
first you want
Scrolls
to be an
Online.
armorsmith. And the more points you spend in armor smithing, the better you're going to get at crafting all armor.
This also means that if you specialize one way, other people in your guild may specialize in completely different paths. This means that your guild could have several top blacksmiths, and everybody's providing something unique and valuable to the team, which is really cool.
Now that reminds me of another update. We're actually adding crafting tables to all the different crafting professions. We're going to take those and we're going to put them all in the main city of Valdrakken, and you're going to go in there and you're going to get to see all the different players crafting their items at their cool crafting tables.
Yeah, it means you're going to walk into the city and you're going to see like...
Yeah, that actually is really good. What you just mentioned about having a bunch of blacksmiths in one guild, but having them do different stuff, that's actually really important too, because that means that you can't just have someone who's a blacksmith and have them just be able to do everything. Because when you have that, it just makes it so that people, again, aren't really relying on each other. Like, you want to have the professions in a way where, like, a profession feels important to have, and it feels valuable and worthwhile to complete doing for yourself and for the progression of your own character. But at the same time, isn't just like a dead end. Like once you get your character set up, it's whatever. because everyone else just also is doing their own profession just to get their own character set up, and it comes with everything. It's like you have to specialize in like a branch of that profession, sacrificing the other ones. So you still have to rely on other people, but yours is still worthwhile for them too, because they still need you too. Like, that's actually really good. That's smart.
All these alchemists huddled over here, and you're gonna see all these blacksmiths over by the forge. There'll be other players filling orders or grabbing orders. There's gonna be a whole new crafting area that's gonna make you feel really part of the world.
It just seems like a much more lively.
That's actually really cool, yeah.
What I'm most excited about, though, is the gear. We're introducing new types of gear for every profession, and when you go to, say, mine a node, you're actually gonna just switch into that gear. It's gonna be really great.
You're not gonna have to carry that stuff around in your backpack anymore. There's actually gonna be dedicated slots for each of your pieces of gear. But
No way.
I love progressing.
That's cool.
All pieces of profession gear will have those special stats that we mentioned before on them, and as you get your hands on better versions of the gear, it's really gonna help you get better at your profession.
I can't wait.
That's
Thank
cool.
you for tuning in to the Dragonflight Deep Dive.
You've heard a lot about the content and changes coming in Dragonflight, and we've got a lot more in store for you in the coming months.
Until then, we'll see you in Azeroth.
All right. Well, that was it. That's crazy, guys. That was it, man. What do you guys think, dude? The World of Warcraft expansion reveal. We just went through they welcomed us. They did the Dragonflight cinematic, the overview. We saw the Lich King cinematic and overview. Yeah, they kind of gave us a recap of the Dragonflight story, how it works. They went over the zones. They went over some of the new future, UI elements, and the professions. Wow. It's pretty good stuff, man. I'm excited. Heck yeah, man. I'm glad we watched that whole thing. I'm glad we waited too. I wasn't ready when it dropped on us. But like the day it dropped, the first few days after it dropped, I was like, it just came out of nowhere. I wasn't ready for it yet. Had to be in the right mindset, dude. That's awesome.